All right, you know that feeling when you're 5 seasons deep into a show and you kind of forget, what's even going on? Yeah, we've all been there. So today, we're going to fix that. We are diving into Claudia Reid's sprawling epic story, Blood on the Deeds, and we're going to cut through all the noise to get to the one single conflict that drives the whole thing. It all starts right here. I mean, the entire 5 season story basically hangs on this one chilling detail. It's just a line from a forensic report, but it tells our hero, and it tells us, one absolutely critical fact about the death of her childhood friend. This was not a suicide. No way. And boom, that's the whole premise right there. What looks like a staged suicide in some hotel room in Queens, it isn't just a crime. No, it's the first shot fired in a war against a dynasty that's been around for 100 years, built on theft and murder. Okay, so let's start where it all really began. The victim's name was Nick Becker. And his death, it wasn't just some tragedy. It was the catalyst. It was the spark that lit the fuse on a war that was going to drag generations of secrets kicking and screaming into the light. So, who's the person brave enough to actually fight back against all this? You might be picturing, a super spy or some hardened soldier. But nope, you get Claudia Reid, a tea shop owner from Queens. She's a protector of her community who finds out she's got what it takes to dismantle an entire empire, pretty much from the back booth of her shop. And this is what makes the whole thing so much bigger than just avenging a friend. See, Nick died protecting the reparative deeds. This is the paper trail, the actual physical proof of 100 years of systematic theft. It's the original sin that this whole corrupt dynasty is built on. So, this brings us to the battlefield and the players in this war. And really, the odds are just impossible. On one side, you've got this small, hand-picked crew literally working out of a tea shop basement. And on the other side, well, it's pretty much everyone else. And you can really see the contrast in how they operate. Claudia's crew, they're like a scalpel. Super specialized, precise, and absolutely lethal in what they do. The dynasty, though, they're a sledgehammer. Just immense institutional power, and they control every single lever you can imagine. Yeah, and that sledgehammer, it's basically a three-headed monster. You've got the Petersons, who control all the money through their bank. Then there's the Rockmans, who dominate the oil industry. And finally, the Mahans. They provide the political cover that makes the whole operation untouchable. These three families, together, are this corrupt hydra that's had its claws in the country for generations. Okay, so how does this whole war actually play out? Let's do a quick run-through of the entire 5 season arc, just to see how the stakes keep getting higher and higher, escalating from a single death to basically a battle for the soul of the country. So the whole saga unfolds in these 5 major stages. Season 1, it's all about hunting down a ledger. It's a local fight. But then, in Season 2, it just explodes into this huge national conspiracy. Then, just when you think Claudia's won, Season 3 rolls around, and now she's fighting to stop her own revolution from being co-opted. And it gets crazier. In Season 4, the old dynasty is reborn as a tech giant, and the whole thing ends in Season 5 with a final showdown against the true mastermind. The stakes just keep climbing. This is a line from Rex, Claudia's right-hand man, right at the very beginning, and he just nails it. Nick's death isn't the whole story, it's the first domino. It's the push that starts a chain reaction that's going to bring down an entire empire. Okay, now this is one of the most fascinating themes in the later seasons, how power adapts. The dynasty doesn't just die, it evolves. It basically sheds its old skin for a new, digital one. The old dynasty, well, it was kind of simple, right? It was built on bloodlines, shady backroom deals, and just brutal violence to protect the family name and their stolen land. Power was inherited, and it was kept with pure force. But this new dynasty? Oh, it is way more insidious. In Season 4, it completely rebrands itself as a tech company. It doesn't need hitmen to steal your house anymore. Now it uses biased code and predictive algorithms to do the exact same thing, just cleaner, more efficient. And we're not talking about some abstract idea here. The show grounds this in some pretty devastating numbers. This new algorithmic-style corruption, it's responsible for stealing over 400 properties in just a few years. It's the same old crime, just with a brand new weapon. And this all leads to Claudia's absolute mic drop moment during a congressional hearing. She just perfectly captures this terrifying evolution of injustice. She looks them right in the eye and says it. It's all about hiding bigotry inside of code and calling it innovation. So, where does all of this lead? I mean, after 5 seasons of fighting, what's the ultimate cost? What is the real legacy of Claudia's war? Well, the dynasty does fall. For good this time. Claudia wins. But the story makes it really clear that winning a war like this leaves deep scars. Victory doesn't really look like a party. I mean, the concrete wins are there for sure. The land is returned, the bad guys are brought to justice, but just look at the personal cost. To win, Claudia has to completely erase herself. She becomes a legend, yeah, a symbol, but the woman herself has to disappear from the very world she saved. And this line from Thalia Rockman-Peterson, one of the Dynasty wives, man, it is just haunting. It kind of hangs over the entire final season, making you wonder, in her quest to destroy all these monsters, did Claudia have to become a kind of ghost herself? And that's really the question the whole story leaves us with. It suggests that truth isn't some trophy you just win at the end. It's more like a house you have to keep rebuilding over and over from the ashes. It is such a powerful, challenging end to an absolutely incredible story.